consumption has been rebranded as self-care and wellness in American society, and it is causing you so much unnecessary financial stress. The idea that this 12-step morning skincare routine is anything other than totally unhinged is keeping your bank accounts empty and your skin irritated. Instead of looking for long-term solutions to burnout and stress, we're reaching for these quick hits of dopamine that won't last and create an enormous amount of trash. All of these face masks and these little single-use items are just going to end up in a landfill. Do you want to take your hard-earned cash and throw it directly in a landfill? These unrealistic routines portray a standard of self-care that hardly anyone can afford the time or the money to maintain. It truly breaks my heart that we are training women and girls that the only way that they can be lovable or acceptable is by having flawless, perfect skin that can only be attained by putting on 6 different face masks every morning.
Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, hello, welcome. This is Essential Patience and I am Patience. And in today's video, we are talking about affordable luxuries. How they can drain your budget without you even knowing it. Sometimes when we think about what actually keeps us poor, what keeps us in financial binds, we think about the big thing. And yes, the big things actually have big power to take our money and make it obvious that they are in fact a financial burden. For example, having a high rent. You know that, okay, I'm spending 50% of my paycheck on my rent. That's a huge expense. And so if you can cut that down, you can free up money in your budget and live more financially comfortable. And also with car payments, student loans, those are big ticket items that make it obvious that they are there. And we know those. And so you can easily fix those if you put your mind to it. Well, not maybe easily, but at least you can put together a plan to reduce those expenses. Now, the part where we can often get tripped up are with affordable luxuries, and that's why we have to talk about them today, because they can easily add up, and a lot of times most people don't even notice them. They just think that they are spending all their money on big ticket items, but when they finally put a budget together, they'll be wondering where all their money went. And that's where they find that affordable luxuries are essentially taking all their money. If this is your first time here, this is a channel where we talk about society's impacts on our lives and our finances and how we can be intentional in taking back that power to live more intentional lives in pertaining to not just our decisions that we make on a daily basis, but our finances and our career and in every aspect of our lives. So if that sounds great to you, be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and ring the notification bell so you do not miss out on any of my future videos. Let's get into the pitfalls of affordable luxuries and how they keep you poor. In order to understand, I think it's good to start with a definition and exploring what affordable luxuries are. So affordable luxuries are those small luxurious items that sometimes we don't even think of as being luxury, but they promise a taste of the good life. But are they as affordable as we think? Often not. Affordable luxuries are items or experiences that provide a sense of indulgence without breaking the bank. Examples include daily lattes, getting premium streaming services, self-care services, clothing, shoes, and accessories that they may even be on sale, as well as frequently dining out. I'm not going to include things such as taking vacations or even buying a brand new car, because those we all know are unaffordable luxuries, even though there are people who will try to make arguments as to why they want to buy a $50,000 car, but we all know that's ridiculous. That is way above the cost of an average car, but we won't consider those affordable luxuries in this category because they are just not seen as affordable. Nobody would consider a $50,000 car affordable. So with affordable luxuries, they're just things that on a day-to-day basis may not seem like a big deal, but they're still luxury. So instead of spending like $1,500 on a designer purse that can really feel like a pinch to your budget and to your purse, you can feel it immediately. You might spend, say, $150 getting your nails done. Some people don't even consider that as a luxury at this point. They think of it as just something to do, but it is a luxurious service. And the reason why it's a luxury service is that you can do it by yourself at home for cheaper, and beyond that, it's not a necessity to live. If you don't get your nails done, you're gonna live just fine. I actually just got my nails done for the first time in like 6 years, and I lived Can you imagine that? I lived just fine. But I did get them done for my birthday and they're really cute. But this is probably gonna be the only time this year that I'm gonna get these done. If I do get them done again, it'll probably just be one more time this year and that will be it. I don't plan on getting my nails done frequently because if I don't, I will live. And while these affordable luxuries bring joy or moments of joy in our lives, it is important to realize and to acknowledge the fact that they are wants, not needs. When they are needs, they're necessities. But when they are wants, they can be luxurious, which is an affordable luxury. And over time, these can add up really quickly. So for example, my nails cost less than $70. So it's considered affordable luxury. So if I go every 2 weeks, that can add up to over $2,000 per year. And that's not exactly affordable if you ask me for the average person. But if you got them done all the time and you didn't put that number together, well, it might seem like it's not breaking the bank, but it could be what is preventing you from going to the next level in your financial state. And I'm not saying you can do nice things for yourself. That's where a budget comes in. But this should not be something that you don't budget for, but just do it as a way to treat yourself. In times where you're deeply in debt, when you're trying to pay off a lot of debt, you're trying to build a fully funded emergency fund, you're trying to pay off your car, student loans, buy a house. When it comes time in your life where you have to sacrifice things, if you are trying to make a big impact in your finances, there will come a time where you have to sacrifice a lot, especially if you're not making hundreds of thousands of dollars per year. You're just gonna have to sacrifice something. And these are things that you can sacrifice because they're not necessities. You can live without them. When I was getting out of debt, I sacrificed so much of these things that we're gonna be talking about, but I especially was not getting my nails done any of those years that I was trying to pay off debt and build up my savings for my future. Let us also consider something that a lot of people do and often say, it's not breaking my budget, which is a cup of coffee per day. A $5 daily coffee averages about $152 per month and a total of $1,825 per year. Add other affordable luxuries and all of a sudden you're spending hundreds of dollars, some people even thousands of dollars on wants and affordable luxuries that are not a necessity. Do they improve the quality of your life? Maybe emotionally, maybe in experience wise, but financially speaking, the things that actually cause you stress, they're not improving it. They're actually adding to the stress in your life. The average American spends approximately $1,497 per month on non-essentials. Compare that to the savings rate of approximately 7.5% of disposable income, and you can see where the disparities lies and why people are in so much financial turmoil and yet unwilling to get rid of the inflated lifestyle and the affordable luxuries they have in their life. And seeing such a number per month makes me compare it to the emergency fund video I did about a year ago, where we talked about how almost 50% of Americans did not even have $1,000 saved up, and 25% of Americans could not cover a $500 emergency without going into debt. And yet, if the average American is spending almost $1,500 per month on non-necessities, we can see where the problem is. And it is so easy to see a lot of people justify spending so much money every single month. And by the way, that over $1,400 per month adds up to just under $20,000 per year, essentially, that we are spending of disposable income on non-essentials. And it doesn't mean we can't spend it on other things that we want and experiences and go on vacations, but it is good to have a balance where we're saving some, spending some, and giving some. But it is also easy to see people justifying spending so much money on non-essentials that I need to treat myself. You only live once. FOMO, YOLO, life is too short. These are all excuses that we tell each other and tell other people to justify spending way too much money that we know we probably should be saving. Because what seems like a little bit of money eventually adds up to a lot of money, and you miss out on so much savings that you could have done. And you wake up one day and go, where did all of my money go? If you're the type of person that ever says, where did all my money go? That's an immediate sign that you immediately need a budget. So let's go over some of these affordable luxuries. I've given you several examples along the way, but I think that it's good to dissect it and see the common ones that a lot of people fall for every day. Some of these are literally every day, but a lot of it are on a weekly, monthly basis. The first one, of course, is the morning coffee. Easily adds up to over $150 per month, every single month. And it's the whole, oh, it's just something I do for myself. I can't afford to go on vacation, so I have my daily cup of coffee. You can make a cup of coffee in your home for so much cheaper than that $5. And nowadays it's barely even $5. You go to places and a cup of coffee is almost running you $10. And it's not always just even a cup of coffee. You get a cup of coffee plus a croissant or something else at a coffee shop, and all of a sudden you're spending over $10 every single day on breakfast alone. And that adds up to over $300 per month and almost $4,000 per year. And that's money that can go towards your groceries, go towards savings, go towards even getting a better luxury item, which is what we're going to talk about after these examples. Next is getting your hair done. Saying, I deserve to look nice. I deserve a service that would, pamper myself. That's all great and all, but spending almost $200 per month on hair can be ridiculous depending on your financial standing. That is almost $2,500 per year. And if you're doing it every single month, averaging about $200, that is still an affordable luxury because you can do it by yourself. Having somebody do your hair for you is a luxury. And some people don't consider it that. They just consider it as something that I have to do. But it's good to give a name to these services and know that it is a form of affordable luxury that some of us probably should opt out of. I recently went to the salon to go get my hair done. With tip, it ran me just over $100. And it reminded me as to why I do my hair by myself. I wasn't happy with the service. My hair got so tangled. I had to come back and spend over an hour detangling my hair, which is a blow dry. And for me, something that was supposed to be a luxury service that I budgeted and planned for turned into basically a nightmare. Not good at all. I definitely wouldn't be doing that again, but I do go to the hair salon once a year, and it typically runs me about $150 to go get a silk press. But I still know that that service is a luxury service, and it's not just something that I can do all the time. Even though technically I can afford to do it every month, it would not make financial sense to do so when I have other savings goals. Next is getting your nails done. So my manicure, like I said, cost me just under $70. But if you get a manicure and pedicure, you're looking to pay $100 or more. And I'm in Texas, so it might be cheaper here. I know in certain states, a manicure and a pedicure can run you $150 to almost $200. I mean, it's getting ridiculous out here. But you see that as, oh, let me treat myself. So you're treating yourself to a daily cup of coffee. You're treating yourself to getting your hair done every single month. You're treating yourself to getting your nails done every 2 weeks to month. I mean, we've seen how it's added up easily, and don't feel called out if you're relating to these examples. Instead, feel inspired to make changes. Maybe just one of those cases where you have to budget and decreases. It doesn't mean you can't do any of these things for yourself. It just means that you have to decrease the frequency at which you do if you're not debt free, if you don't have a savings, if you don't have a fully funded emergency fund, if you don't have a retirement. The next one is buying cheap clothes or just clothes on sale and thinking of it as just treating myself, and at least I don't buy designer. It's so bad that sometimes I think that people should just buy designer because it eventually costs the same amount of money and the designer item might even last longer. But there are people who are spending hundreds of dollars on fast fashion and cheap and wasteful fast fashion that would not last but like 10 washes, and then they have to throw it in the landfill and buy the clothes all over again. But I see a way of buying these inexpensive clothes as treating myself, not realizing the implications it has to their finances, but also to the earth and how damaging it is for our world. And next one is ordering food or going out to eat. Also using food services to order food instead of cooking it by yourself. This is so wasteful, and this is one of those affordable luxuries that a lot of people would defend and even make up lies essentially to cover up for the fact that it's just expensive to eat out. They will say, well, have you seen the price of groceries? It's cheaper to eat out. Really? You don't think restaurants have to make a profit? You think that they are buying the food, paying for labor to cook the food, and it's going to be cheaper than going to the grocery store and cooking your own food? It may seem like you're going to pay a lot just to cook that meal, but remember that you're probably going to have a lot of leftovers and a lot of other ingredients to use for the preparation of your next meal. So at the end of the day, it's almost never cheaper to eat out than it is to eat at home. Home cooked meals are typically as cheap as it gets. And as a person who does not eat out a lot, I can definitely tell you that if you learn how to do different recipes, if you learn how to make it interesting, you're not going to get bored. And whenever you feel like, oh, I don't have enough food to eat at home, say to yourself, I have food at home. And here's a helpful tip. If you happen to not have food at home, instead of spending that $30-$40 to order food that you probably eat once or twice, order groceries, and you would realize that that would last you a few days at least of cooking several different things. And it has helped me, and I hope that helps you. The next one is a combination of going out to dine, but also socializing. Socializing costs money, and I'm not saying don't go out and socialize. I think it's just good to find different alternatives as to how we can socialize with our friends without spending a bunch of money. Every time you go out with your friends, it doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg. Sometimes find cheap ways to hang out. And if you have a friend that you always have to spend hundreds of dollars every time you hang out with them, I think you should decrease the amount of time you hang out with them, but also you should talk to them, especially if you're trying to save. They may have their money together. I'm not going to judge people for spending that much money. They might be financially free and have financial independence, and it's time for them to spend their money whatever way they choose. But for you, that might be different. So communicate. Don't harbor resentment. Let them know, hey, this is what I'm going through, and I would appreciate it if we can hang out at your house, my house, or at a park, library, somewhere that we don't have to spend a lot of money. Or maybe just go out for a $20 hangout versus a $200 hangout. Hanging out with friends can easily add up to hundreds of dollars per month. Now, the things that I did mention may not sound particularly luxurious or extravagant, but the total was $1,000 per month for those 6 items. So at the end of the year, that's about $12,000. What would you do if you had an extra $12,000 per year? I'm pretty sure your first thing would not be, oh, I just want to make sure I get my hair done, nails done, and eat out as much as possible. A lot of people actually want to do less of those things. They just don't know how much money they're actually realistically spending on each of those activities. And I try to be conservative with those numbers that I gave, but they all add up so quickly. And while there is a big difference of spending a big chunk of your earned income on non-necessities, there's an even bigger consequence for people who spend money they do not have on non-essentials. They are building a substantial amount of debt and getting stuck in a cycle of debt where they also feel the need to find things that they can do for themselves, that, oh, I'm never gonna pay off this debt, I must so just enjoy life. And yet you're digging yourself into a bigger hole. How is that type of life any sort of enjoyable? And we know this because of the increasing consumer debt. With the average household credit card balance being about $6,000, this debt is often fueled by spending on unaffordable luxuries and things that we can do without. Add this to the other debts that people already have, such as mortgages, now even HELOCs becoming very popular, student loans, personal loans, and sometimes even payday loans. Whew, it is easy to see how people are drowning in so much debt. And the big question comes, how can we stop or at least limit unaffordable luxuries? Here are some strategies that I personally use for myself and I want to share with you, and hopefully they're helpful to you as well. The first thing, like always, is like the foundation of financial success is setting a budget. You have to know how much money you're making, and you have to know how much money you're spending and plan to spend. Track all of your finances and make a detailed budget where you want your money to go. Give every dollar an assignment and know how much money you should have for savings, giving, necessities. Everything should be in that budget. The next thing you want to do is prioritize. Learn how to prioritize your essentials over your non-essentials. Affordable luxuries are non-essentials, so prioritize your living space. Prioritize the safety of your car up to a certain point. Prioritize other things in life versus just affordable luxuries, because you may find that you are spending a lot of money on making yourself feel good, look pretty, versus actually taking care of yourself, the things that actually reduce stress, the things that actually internally makes you feel great from the bottom of your heart, not just because you look great, but because you are actually doing well. Next thing, you want to make sure that you are reducing your impulse shopping and impulse purchasing. Impulse shopping and impulse purchasing are putting so many people into situations that are not serving them. And that is because they lack self-control to not purchase something that they have not budgeted for. Make sure that you're purchasing only things that you budget for. And if it's something that's an emergency, that's another thing. But do not be out here spending money just anyway, anyhow, without knowing where your money is going. Reduce impulse purchasing by making sure that when you decide you want to buy something, wait at least 24 hours, preferably 48, before making that purchase, because you may think, oh, I need this, and then you don't. And the next one is finding cheaper alternatives. So if it's a cup of coffee per day, make it at home. I make tea at home to take to work, and I find that to be very enjoyable. Also, hanging out with friends, maybe hang out with friends at your apartment, cook food for yourself, do your nails by yourself, maybe get some friends together so they do it for you so they can look well done. But this is where creativity is supposed to kick in, and you can DIY a lot of these for yourself. The next thing is to save first, spend later. And this is a mentality I have for myself, making sure I prioritize giving and savings before I plan to spend the remainder. So whenever I get my paycheck, my savings is always at the forefront before anything else. This can help make sure that your necessities are taken care of and you're not digging yourself into debt. And this may not look as bad if you have zero debt, you just don't know how to spend your money. But as long as you're not digging yourself into debt, you're already halfway there. And now you can step into different ways of managing your money. There's not one size fits all, but start saving your paychecks now. And the last but absolutely not the least is to be intentional about all of your spending. Track it. Make sure if you're going to spend something on any type of service, budget for it and track it. Don't just go out and spend the money and not even have the time to enjoy that service, because all the while you're thinking about the bills that you have to pay, you're thinking about other responsibilities that you have. But if you're able to be more intentional and set aside a date and time, you'll be better off. I know I treat myself. I am less inclined to give myself very little affordable luxuries, but instead I give myself on the medium tier, because I just save the money till I can afford myself more a medium tier type of luxury item rather than a daily coffee or getting my nails done on the daily. Be mindful of your spending. You can enjoy affordable luxuries without jeopardizing your financial health. This balance allows you to indulge occasionally while building and securing your future. Affordable luxuries can be a delightful part of life, but they should be enjoyed in moderation. Remember, true financial freedom comes from making wise choices today for a better tomorrow. Treat yourself, but do not lose yourself of your financial growth. Balance is key. And to go back to what I said I would explain later, is how because you opt into small luxuries, sometimes it by default opts you out of medium tier and even bigger luxuries. So let's take that $150 you're spending per month on daily coffee. And mind you, this is just 5 days a week. All of a sudden, you are opting into this affordable luxury, but you're opting out of doing something bigger and better for yourself. So let's say instead of that $150 for that cup of coffee, you decide to go get a massage or a facial every single month. And because you have a membership, you're able to get them both done for $150. Some people may look at that and think, oh, you're rich, you're doing well. But you are opting out of an affordable daily luxury to an affordable monthly luxury. Same thing with if you save all of that money and you decide to go on vacation, then you can take a bigger vacation, an extra small vacation. You can either do one more vacation, maybe a small vacation, or you can do a more grand vacation. And people see that and think, oh, they must be rich. But no, they're opting out of small affordable luxuries and opting into more luxurious and expensive luxuries. And I'm not saying one is better than the other, but it's important to know that you have a choice and you have a say in that. So with that, I'm bringing this video to an end. Thank you so much. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and ring the notification bell so you do not miss out on any of my future videos. Thank you all so much. Let me know in the comment section, what are some affordable luxuries that you have fallen into, and let me know how you're coming out of it and how you are dealing with the realities of this today. Be sure to ring the notification bell and be here every Friday when I post a video. Thank you all again, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.